Welcome to Learning English from People.
The man who composed his own fate, Ludwig van Beethoven. Imagine a painter who cannot see colors, or a chef who cannot taste food. Now, think of a musician who cannot hear sound. This was the terrible problem for Ludwig van Beethoven. It was the worst thing that could happen to him, but he did not stop. He wrote some of the most powerful and beautiful music the world has ever known. This is his story. Ludwig van Beethoven was born in Bonn, Germany, in 1770. His family was musical, but not always happy. His grandfather, also named Ludwig, was a famous and respected musician. Beethoven loved his grandfather and kept a picture of him his whole life. It reminded him of a better time. But his father, Johann, was a different kind of man. He was a singer at the court, but he was not very successful. He also drank too much alcohol. Johann saw that his young son, Ludwig, had a special talent for music. He wanted to make money from his son's talent, just like Mozart's father did. Johann was a very hard teacher. He was not kind. He often woke young Ludwig up late at night. He made him practice the piano for hours. Sometimes the little boy cried because he was so tired and sad. When Beethoven gave his first public performance, his father lied about his age. He told people Ludwig was only 6 years old to make him seem even more special. Beethoven's home was a difficult place. He needed to get away. He found a second home with the von Breuning family. The mother, Helene, was like a second mother to him. She was kind and taught him good manners. She showed him great books and poems. With this family, he felt safe and happy. He also made good friends who helped him for many years. His music teacher, Christian Neef, saw that Beethoven was a genius. Neef helped him grow as a musician. By the time Beethoven was 12 years old, he had already published his first piece of music. He was learning very fast. He was becoming a powerful young artist. The problems at home became worse. In 1787, Beethoven went to the big city of Vienna. He hoped to meet the great composer, Mozart, but he had to rush back home. His mother was very sick, and she died soon after. This was a very sad time for Beethoven. His father's drinking got worse. At just 17 years old, Beethoven had to become the head of his family. He had to take care of his 2 younger brothers. He worked hard, playing music for the court to earn money. A few years later, another famous composer, Joseph Haydn, visited Bonn. Haydn saw Beethoven's talent and agreed to teach him. In 1792, Beethoven decided to leave Bonn forever. He was going to Vienna, the capital of music. A friend, Count Waldstein, wrote him a famous letter. He said, "You will get the spirit of Mozart from the hands of Haydn." Beethoven was ready for a new life. When Beethoven arrived in Vienna, he was 21 years old. He did not try to become famous as a composer right away. First, he wanted to learn. He studied with Haydn and other important teachers, like Antonio Salieri. His relationship with Haydn was not always easy. Haydn was an old master of the old style. Beethoven was a young man with new, fiery ideas. During these first years, Beethoven became famous for something else: his piano playing. In the beautiful homes of rich and powerful people, he was a star. He was known for his improvisations. This means he would create music right there, on the spot. People said it was electric and full of emotion. He often had piano duels with other famous players. Beethoven's powerful and passionate playing always won. Soon, rich noblemen wanted to help him. They saw his great talent. Prince Lichnowsky gave him a place to live and money to support him. This gave Beethoven freedom. He did not have to work for a church or a king. He could write the music he wanted to write. In 1795, he gave his first big public concert. He played one of his own piano concertos and people loved it. That same year, he published his first major works, his piano trios, Opus 1. The music was a big success. Haydn had told him not to publish one of the trios. He thought it was too dark and new for people. But Beethoven trusted his own ideas and published it anyway. This showed the kind of man he was. He respected the old masters, but he was not afraid to break the rules. By the year 1800, everyone in Vienna knew his name. He wrote his first symphony and his first string quartets. He was seen as the next great composer after Haydn and Mozart, but his music was different. It was stronger, more emotional, and full of surprises. His famous Pathétique Sonata from 1799 showed this new direction. It was full of dark, powerful feelings. Beethoven was on his way to changing music forever. Just as Beethoven was becoming a huge success, a terrible shadow appeared in his life. Around 1798, he started to hear a buzzing sound in his ears. It would not go away. His hearing, the most important thing for a musician, was starting to fail. This was his biggest fear. How could he make music if he could not hear? The problem got worse, slowly but surely. He also had a constant ringing in his ears that made him feel crazy. He tried to hide his problem from everyone. He did not want people to know his secret. He started to avoid social events because it was hard to follow conversations. People thought he was angry or unfriendly, but really, he was scared and alone. In the summer of 1802, his doctor told him to rest in a quiet village called Heiligenstadt. There, alone with his thoughts, Beethoven faced his deepest sadness. He felt completely hopeless. He thought about ending his own life. He wrote a long letter to his brothers. It is now called the Heiligenstadt Testament. In the letter, he explained his pain and his secret deafness. He wrote about how lonely he felt, cut off from the world. It is a very sad and honest letter. It is a cry for help from a man in a silent prison. But then, at the end of the letter, something changed. Beethoven made a choice. He decided to live. He wrote that he could not leave the world until he had created all the music that was inside him. His art would be his reason to go on. He walked away from Heiligenstadt a different man. He had looked at the darkest part of his life and decided to fight. From now on, his music would tell the story of his struggle. After this turning point, Beethoven's music became more powerful than ever. He told a friend, "I am not happy with my work so far. From now on, I will take a new way." This new way started his heroic period. His music became about struggle, fighting, and finally, victory. The first great work of this new period was his third symphony, the Eroica. It means heroic symphony. At first, he wanted to name it after Napoleon Bonaparte. Beethoven saw Napoleon as a hero of freedom, but in 1804, Napoleon made himself emperor. When Beethoven heard the news, he became very angry. "So he is just an ordinary man," he shouted. He scratched Napoleon's name off the music so hard that he made a hole in the paper. The symphony was finally dedicated to the memory of a great man. This symphony was bigger and more emotional than any symphony before it. It changed music history. It showed that Beethoven was his own man. He followed his own ideas about art and life. After the Eroica, he wrote one masterpiece after another. He wrote his famous Fifth Symphony. Some people say it sounds like fate knocking at the door. He wrote his beautiful Sixth Symphony, the Pastoral, which is about his love for nature. He wrote his only opera, Fidelio, a story about a brave woman who saves her husband from prison. He also wrote powerful piano music, like the Appassionata Sonata and the majestic Emperor Concerto. All this music tells a story of moving from darkness to light. It was the story of his own life. Even as he became more famous, Beethoven's personal life was full of struggle. The Napoleonic Wars made life in Vienna difficult. In 1809, when French soldiers attacked the city, Beethoven hid in his brother's basement. He covered his ears with pillows because the loud noises hurt his sensitive hearing. His romantic life was also sad. He fell in love many times, often with women from rich, noble families. But in those days, a man like him could not marry a woman from a higher social class. His heart was broken again and again. In the summer of 1812, he wrote a long, passionate letter. We call it the immortal beloved letter. It was written to a woman whose name we do not know for sure. In it, he wrote about a deep, secret love. He also wrote about the sadness of being apart. The letter was found in his desk after he died. It was never sent. It seems this was his last great love. After that, he seemed to close his heart to romance. He became more and more isolated. His deafness was getting worse. His personality was difficult. The great writer Goethe met him and said his talent was amazing, but his manners were wild. Beethoven was a man who felt things very deeply, but he had a hard time connecting with the world around him. The years that followed were hard. He wrote less music. He had serious family problems. His brother Caspar died in 1815. Beethoven then fought a long, ugly legal battle with his brother's wife, Johanna, for custody of his nephew, Karl. He wanted to save the boy from his mother, who he thought was a bad person. But Beethoven was often too strict and controlling. The fight for Karl caused him years of pain and worry. By 1818, Beethoven was almost completely deaf. He could no longer perform as a pianist. His last public performance was in 1814. A friend who was there said it was sad to watch. The piano was not in tune, and Beethoven played the quiet parts so softly that the notes disappeared. To talk with people, he started using conversation books. Friends and visitors would write down what they wanted to say, and he would answer aloud. Many of these books survive today. They give us a direct look into his silent world. We can read his thoughts about music, money, and daily life. As he became more cut off from the world of sound, his music went to a new place. It became deeper and more personal. He studied the old masters like Bach and Handel. His style became more complex. He was not writing for the audiences of his time anymore. He was writing for himself and for the future. This late period produced some of his greatest works. He wrote the huge Hammerklavier Sonata for piano. It is one of the most difficult pieces ever written. He also wrote the Missa Solemnis, a powerful and personal mass. He said it was his greatest work. And then he wrote his Ninth Symphony. This symphony was completely new and revolutionary. For the first time ever, a symphony used a chorus of singers. In the final part, the chorus sings a beautiful and simple melody. The words are from a poem called Ode to Joy. It is a song about all people becoming brothers and sisters. It is a message of hope and unity for the world. The first performance of his Ninth Symphony on May 7, 1824, was a special night. It was the last time he was on stage for a big concert. The theater was full. Another conductor was officially leading the orchestra, but Beethoven stood on stage with him. His back was to the audience, and he was beating time to the music he had created in his mind. When the symphony finished, the audience went wild. They stood up, cheered, and clapped, but Beethoven did not notice. He was still looking at his music pages. He could not hear the applause. One of the young singers gently turned him around to face the crowd. He saw thousands of people clapping, crying, and waving their hats in the air. It was a silent, thunderous victory for him. After the Ninth Symphony, Beethoven wrote his final masterpieces, the late string quartets. These 5 works are like private conversations in music. They are deep, difficult, and full of every human emotion, from sadness to joy. Some of this music was so strange and new that people in his time did not understand it. But Beethoven knew what he was doing. He was writing music for the future. His last years were difficult. His health was failing. His relationship with his nephew Karl was still painful. In 1826, Karl tried to kill himself. This event broke Beethoven's heart. That winter, Beethoven became very sick. He lay in bed for months as his body grew weaker. On March 26, 1827, a big thunderstorm was raging outside his window. A friend who was there said that a flash of lightning lit up the room. Beethoven opened his eyes, lifted his hand into a fist, and then fell back. He was gone. He was 56 years old. His funeral was a huge event. Thousands of people came out onto the streets of Vienna to say goodbye to the great master. They knew that a giant had lived among them. Beethoven's music changed everything. He showed that music could be more than just beautiful sound. It could express big ideas, deep feelings, and the story of the human spirit. He was not a perfect man. He was often angry, stubborn, and difficult. He lived a life full of pain, loneliness, and struggle, but from that suffering, he created music of great beauty and power. He fought silence with music, and his music won.